as part of our FASCINATE Summer Spotlight series. I'm Shayna LaFleur, your host, and as you know, all summer long we are digging deep and getting to the V with some fabulous interviews with artists and designers from around the globe. Today, our special guest is Desiree East. She is an artist and a creativity coach. She helps people tone their creative muscles through her creative workshops and programs. So thank you, Desiree, for being here. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Sheena. I'm so
You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about your background as an artist and the journey you took to get to where you are today as a creativity coach.
Well, I think as a child, I've always been creative. I've always had that kind of drive and passion for it. Well, I don't know if I want to call it passion if I started when I was little, but I've always been fascinated with patterns and lines and just like drawing things and cartooning and all of that good stuff. And so when I graduated from high school and decided to go to college, I always had a pull toward, taking art classes. But I knew in the back of my mind, my little, the little devil, or whatever you want to call it, on this shoulder was saying, you can't make money doing art. What are you thinking,
Mm-hmm.
And so I also had a passion for nature. I really love being outdoors. And so it was always between art and ecology. Those were the two things that I've always been fascinated with. And so basically, to make a long story short, I ended up going to school at UC Santa Cruz in California, and I have a background in science illustration and environmental studies, and I also have experience, many years experience teaching outdoor education, and I've always thrown some sort of creative spice to it. So that's my background, but as a trade, I'm a landscape designer, a sustainable landscape designer by trade, and so that's where I'm at right now. And then I found the creative coaching through, it's another story we could talk about, but I found it because I have this yearning to share the creative process with everyone. And, for me, landscape design, even though it's my bread and butter, I just have this, I don't know, this yearning to share everyone the creative process, because everyone, I don't know, they need to be in that zone.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it in words, but
no,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Actually, being in that zone and tapping into the creative side, regardless of what area of business or career or in your life stage, wherever you're at, being able to tap into that side affects every single aspect of your life. It's not just for artists or designers or people who are in a creative field as we think of them traditionally, but for anybody. So I think it's wonderful what you're doing. Tell us a little bit more about the creative coaching and the just kind of the premise behind all of that, how that works.
Okay, well, the creative coaching is something that kind of fell into my lap, quote unquote, because here's my background story of how I got into it. In 2009, my landscape and design company, who I'm partners with my husband, my lovely husband, it took a hit with the housing market. And so that was kind of a blessing in disguise, even though it was, we hit rock bottom and it wasn't a pretty, time, but it forced us to downsize and kind of prioritize what really is important in our lives. So we downsized and decided to put everything in storage, saved up for 2 years, and we went on a sabbatical. So we did some traveling, and while we were in Bali, that was one of the destinations that we went to, I kind of did some soul searching, and during that 2-year period, I forgot to mention, I had started an art and photo blog just for fun, because I needed some sort of outlet to kind of express, I don't know, not necessarily what I was going through, but just I just had this creative energy that just needed to be released. And so I started an art and photo blog for fun, and I, hooked up with all these people in the blogging community, and I loved it. I fell in love with blogging, and that's when I found Creatively Fit Coaching. And basically what that is coaching other people how to tap into their creative zone, or their intuitive side, their creative intuition, through the use of art making. And so when I found out about that program, I said, oh gosh, I have to get certified for this because I love teaching art, and it's just something that really resonated with me. And I continued doing my art and photo and travel blog, and which is great. And then that's when I decided to take the coaching certification, and decide to help other people tap into their creativity. And I think it's just so important because it's something that people can use in all facets of their life, I think, whether it's personal, spiritual, career, health, all of that. So
yeah, it's hugely important. It is. I love the way that you took a situation that a lot of people found themselves in around that time. That kind of difficult situation where, things take a hit and you've got to reinvent and, in a way, really be creative about your approach to life and those changes. And what kept you motivated? You took a situation that could have been a real big kind of heavy downer type situation. You turned it into something really wonderful. What kind of gave you that motivation and inspiration to do that? What kept you going and powering through to get from there to where you are today?
To be honest, if you know my husband and I, a lot of family members and friends that are close to us, they always say, you guys are so determined, you're such positive thinkers, and we never let anything get us down. And I think that has a huge impact, on our lives. Just the fact that not only are we like go-getters, but just the whole positive thinking thing. And I truly believe that whether things bad happen to you or not, there's always the good side. So it's just like the yin and the yang. There's the dark side and the light side. There's always a balance, and you can always learn from both sides. And I think just knowing that and realizing that and having the faith that things will turn around, that keeps you going. And to answer your question about being motivated, my husband and I love to travel. So we love to travel. We both love to surf. And like I said, I really love the outdoors. So I think the fact that that situation had given us an opportunity to travel, that was a huge motivator, because it allowed us to create the time, which was more than a 2-week vacation, to kind of plan it out and really inspire us to figure out what exactly we really, really wanted to do with our lives, since we're kind of not starting over, but just kind of, we knew that we had to do things differently. So that just the idea of creating something new was a huge motivating factor.
I love that. I love how you took the time, you took the space, you allowed yourself the space, and you went at it with, kind of a, I don't know, fresh eyes, or like a blank canvas, going out and seeing the world and getting some ideas, and really just allowing yourself the space to do that. Because that can be very hard, it can be challenging. Did you find that to be scary at all?
I was excited. I was so excited during the planning part. We were just pumped, and it allowed us to get over our I don't know if you want to call it failures, but it allowed us to move past what we had to go through. And the scary part was maybe like the week before we got on the plane, where we started putting everything in storage. It was kind of like a reality check, are we really doing this? Oh my gosh, we're doing this, aren't we? And so that was the scary part, just kind of like stepping into the unknown zone. And, you know, just like creating art, there's always that unknown zone where you think you're going to mess up, or you know, you're not sure exactly what's going to happen or what it's going to look like. And yeah, that was the scary part. But it all, you know, we just went with the flow, and it was great.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. It's like taking us back to the yin and yang a little bit that you were saying. There's also the fact of the just going with it and just jumping, and then also you had planned it out too. You took some time and you looked at where you wanted to go and you did a little bit of planning, but keeping both pieces working together and letting them build off of each other to make a fantastic situation.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun, definitely a fun, exciting, and scary time. Definitely.
Do you have a favorite place that on your travels? Anything that was especially inspiring to you that you can think of?
Yeah, I think for sure Bali was a huge inspiration. Just you know, learning about the culture and seeing how people live their lives there. It's so different than here in the States, and it's just very inspiring because I just did, for one of my mandala meditations sessions, my very last session, we did an art installation, which we use leaves and flowers to create a mandala. And the video that I shot was out at the beach. We live right here by the beach, and it reminded me of the offerings of what the Balinese do every day. Every day, you'll see them making offerings morning until sunset.
Wow.
And they'll have offerings everywhere, on doorsteps, on the road, in the middle of intersections, you know, and I think that part was the most inspiring to me, just seeing other cultures that express this in such a beautiful way. And
talk a little bit about the offering and what's the significance of the offering. A little bit. Is there a little bit of story behind that you could share with us?
Yeah, sure. The offerings are they're like made in little baskets, and I have pictures on my blog if you like look at Bali on my blog. But they're in little baskets, and you know they put flowers in it, and sometimes some incense to go with it, and basically. They will pray to whichever god they want to pray with, because they have, you know, hundreds of different gods and goddesses. So, for example, one of my favorite things that I like to watch them do, because I was always at the beach, was watching them make offerings to the ocean, to the sea, and you know, to keep people safe before they go fishing, and even like for the surfers, they'll, you know, make an offering to the sea to, like, you know, please protect them, and that kind of thing. So, and like I mentioned before, you'll even see them in the middle of intersections or on the road, and that's just to protect the drivers and, you know, protect everyone that's on their little mopeds. No one wears seatbelts in Bali, so but everyone's okay with that because, you know, they have faith that everything's going to be okay. It's pretty neat.
Wow, that's very cool. That's very cool. Wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about the course that you just finished, the mandala meditations that you just did, and kind of the, you know, without giving away any secrets, but, you know, the structure behind that, and what people come away from that experience from. What is the result of that if they've experienced that with you?
Okay. Well, what's great about the mandala meditations is that it's somewhat structured, but it's not. So as far as the art making goes, to create a mandala, it's a circle. It means, you know, life. It's a universal symbol for life. And there's kind of a way to do it, which is somewhat structured. But what's great is that anyone that does it will end up with a mandala, a very unique mandala that's their very own. And so it's kind of like a snowflake. Everyone has their own little snowflake that's different, and everyone has different intentions that they put into the mandala. So when we do our mandala meditations, each layer that we do, I asked I ask the people that are participating to, set an affirmation, a positive affirmation or a mantra that they could meditate on, and, to kind of create and meditate on that as they build their mandala, as they go out and build the layers. So it's once you get into that creative zone, which you probably know a lot about, after, the first 5-10 minutes, you just get into the zone, and it really is meditative. It really puts you into that present moment. And when you're connected to that present moment, your right brain, you're kicked in with your right brain, and that's where all the, your inner answers lie, I think, for creating change or to solve anything, any problems that you might have, or obstacles, resistance, anything that you have in your life. That allows you to open up to your intuition, because you just have a quiet mind, and
it closes out all the clutter. You have to be so very present and focused on what you're doing. I mean, you can have music and other things going on, but your mind switches gears. It goes into another place, and you get into this zone where you're fully in that experience, that time. And I think it similarly happens with athletes and dancers and people who move physically. I think there's a connection there. I don't know the science behind it, but I hear similar stories. My husband is an avid tennis player, and it's very important to him to have his time to be physical and to be out, and that is his art. It is an art to him. There's a way to do it, and a way to improve on it, just like the creative fit, I'm sure, draws a lot of similarities to your physical being and your emotional, spiritual, creative side as well. I think whatever someone's art is, maybe it isn't necessarily painting, maybe it's something a little bit different, but taking that same idea of being present, being focused, and just letting go of all the chatter and everything else that's around you, and being right there and enjoying it fully. And then you can take that and you can apply that to all different areas of your life. When you're spending time with your family, with your kids, with whatever it is that you're doing, you've honed that skill. And because it is a skill, there's talent and there's skill, but with creativity there's also that side of honing it. You can apply that to any part of your life, and it just brightens everything. I think it's just, I love it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and it really is about being in the present moment, and like you said, just kind of quieting your mind and quieting things that are around you, because we live in the fast time. Like, everything's so fast nowadays. Just checking your email, texting everyone, calling them on the phone, driving on the fast freeways. It's just nuts. So I think it's very important to tap into that, whether it's, like you said, dancing, tennis, art making. That it's so important.
Cooking,
to have
even.
that time. Cooking, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Important stuff.
Love it.
I love it. Yay. Fabulous. Well, tell us what's on the horizon for you. Do you have anything that's in the works, or any things that you want to give us a little teaser for, or anything like that you can think of?
Sure. I'm going to launch Mandala Meditations again. I don't have a set date, but I'm thinking this fall. And I also have, so I have that online thing going, and I've been doing what's called the Purpose Project with other life coaches. It was a year-long project, and it's a multimedia art making, art journaling journey where we've been focusing on all of our chakras. So this month, let's see, we just did the third eye. We just started focusing on our third eye. And then, so I have those online programs going on, and then what I love to do is create a workshop, so an in-person workshop. So that's what I'm working on for this fall here locally. I'm looking to do something hopefully in Ventura County. It'll be in Ventura County, California, and maybe in Ojai, the city of Ojai. So the name of that workshop is called Dharma Creates Bliss, and that is something I am working on right now, and yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I have a story behind Dharma Creates Bliss, and I don't know if I should share it now or wait. I'm not sure.
Well, it's up to you. It's up to you. If you want to share it, I would love to hear it. If you want to wait and share it down the road, we've gotten a little taste of it. So it's up to you.
It's well, I'm just excited about it because the name, that phrase that I came up with, Dharma creates bliss, was inspiration from Bali. So it's just yeah, I'll just leave it at that, and then I'll perhaps tell the story once I develop the full program.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, I'm
Sounds
excited
really great.
too.
Sounds really great. So tell us where we can find you online.
So online, my website and blog is at DesireeEast.com, and that's spelled desire with an extra E at the end, and then east, like east and west.
I love that. That makes it so easy to remember, and it's such a beautiful way to present your name.
Thank you. I don't know. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Well, I will have links. I will have the link to that below this video, and yeah, this has been great. I can't wait to hear more about your mandala projects and the possible retreat or workshop that you're working on. I'm just anxious to see all the wonderful things that you're doing in the world. So thank you so much for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time talking with you, and yeah, thank you for having me today. It was fun.
You are so very welcome. So now back to our viewers. I would love to give you this challenge for this week. In talking to Desiree and her story and some of the unique challenges, or maybe not unique, actually pretty universal challenges when she had to totally change gears and go into a different mindset. Her way of approaching that challenge of having, an obstacle, or it was actually kind of a setback, maybe if you want to call it that, was to recalibrate and to take a new perspective on life. And she took a long journey, a long trip, and just to kind of reconnect with who she was and her creativity and what she wanted that next step to be. She did that with her husband, and they found a whole new path that's just beautiful and wonderful, and they're thriving and absolutely loving it. And I would love to hear from you. Have you ever been a place in your life or your career where you've had what may have seemed like a huge setback or getting set back to ground zero? What have you done to face that? What has been some of your motivation or unique way to approach that challenge? I would love to hear from you. Head on over to the blog at ShaynaLaFour.com. Leave a message below this video right here. I'd love to see what you have to say. And if you'd like some more lifestyle inspiration and business savvy delivered directly to your inbox every week, get yourself on my VIP list at ShaynaLaFour.com, and I will send you a little bit of love every week with some wonderful inspiration and savvy that I would love to share with you. So thank you so much again for tuning in today to LaFour TV, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.